It turns out that indeed there are those in this world who cherish their car as if it were their own life. The elderly man, in order to preserve his beloved car, fought a lone battle against illness for many years. In the end, he regretfully departed from this world. At the brink of his passing, he entrusted his sister to find a kind new master for his beloved car. John received a call from Elena, saying that she had a car in her possession. A rare octagonal badge Lagny with only 29 cars left in all of Britain. The car. Elena introduced that this house belonged to her brother, but her brother had passed away a year ago. Therefore, it was now her duty to handle her brother's estate. Many of the possessions in the house had been sold off during her brother's life. To cover medical expenses, the only thing left now were the books and the beloved car, which her brother had refused to part with, even as his life came to an end. When John opened the door, before his eyes appeared the octagonal badge MG, which was presented before him. According to Elena's introduction, this MG Metro Turbo had been parked in this garage for nearly 30 years. The reason it had been idle in this garage was that this car, back in its day, was a turbocharged powerhouse, small yet mighty. It accelerated with great speed, making it difficult for the average person to handle due to safety concerns. The family opposed the brother from taking it on the road. Additionally, from the markings on the windshield, one could easily discern that the last time this MG Metro Turbo was taxed was in 1992. At the same time, this MG Metro Purple was one of the earliest models ever produced by MG. Now, in all of Britain, there are no more than 29 of these cars left. John was also surprised to find that the car was preserved in remarkable condition. There was barely any dust on it. Additionally, all the car's documents had been kept intact. There were also some accessories left by the owner before his passing. Elena hoped, through John's program, to help this MG Metro Turbo find a fated new owner, and thus this car's journey continued ... Only in the hands of one who truly understands shall it receive the best care. Due to the limited space within the workshop, John prepared to move the car outside first, before proceeding with repairs. At that moment, a man cleaning the weeds in front of the garage was also Elena's relative. He had come today to lend a hand to John. Jason also shared that when he was a child, he had ridden in this very car. This MG Metro Turbo in his uncle's hands was always treated like a precious treasure. Now, he hopes to help it find a loving owner. He also felt glad for his late uncle. After all, his uncle had been worried about this MG Metro Turbo until the very last moment of his life. As the garage door slowly opened, this 1980 for MG Metro Turbo finally breathed fresh air again. It was a classic two-door hatchback. If one wasn't paying close attention, they might think it was a Volkswagen Golf. Moreover, for 13-inch tires were stacked in front of the garage. Though this size may seem tiny by today's standards, back in 1984, it was truly cutting edge. Then, the two men released the handbrake, preparing to push it outside before further inspection. Fortunately, the MG Metro Turbo was quite light, so the two of them pushed it outside with little effort. From this angle, the MG Metro Turbo resembled a Suzuki Macau, with a hint of the 186 from Takumi's Tofu Shop. A closer shot revealed some subtle signs of age, although it still appeared in good condition. Yet the years had undoubtedly left their mark. For a car from the 1980s, however, its condition was considered outstanding. John also discovered that the headlights and other parts were still the original factory pieces. This was a rare find. Additionally, the front bumper was preserved after having a basic look at the car's exterior. John immediately shared this news with his friend. The news spread quickly, and soon others came to marvel at the car's condition. It was a testament to the love and care the previous owner had given it. With respect, John and the others started to work on the necessary repairs. Little did they know that this car would soon be part of a new story. A story of legacy, love, and a car that had been kept alive. For the friend was a collector of vintage cars, through the care of those who truly understood it. Upon seeing in the video that it was an MG, his mouth dropped open in astonishment. After all, there are only 29 of this car in all of Britain now. This particular car is one of those 29. So once prepared, another MG Metro Turbo will be added to the roads of Britain. More importantly, this MG Metro Turbo in every aspect is undoubtedly one of the best preserved examples. But when the friend saw from the video that this car had only driven 36,000 miles, and considering the overall condition of the cabin, he could hardly sit still. The condition of this car was almost as good as new, so he immediately ended the video call and prepared to come over to take this rare MG Metro Turbo back with him. He also instructed his friend to try to wake up the engine, which had been dormant for so long before he arrived. After John ended the call, he quickly opened the hood to inspect the condition of the engine. Inside was a 1275 series engine with a base horsepower of 93, but as it was a turbocharged engine, it had more than 100 horsepower. At the same time, one could see that the space where the battery was originally installed was now empty. So to wake up the engine, they would first need to solve the battery issue. Additionally, John discovered the most recent maintenance record on the firewall of the engine compartment. It was last serviced at 33,600 miles. So after the maintenance, the car had only driven 2,400 miles. Thus, there was no need to worry about the oil for now. They could proceed with trying to start it. John took out a fuel tank that he had brought with him, which already had a fuel can attached. He then proceeded to remove the spark plugs to clean them. Next, he went out to find a new battery. Once the battery was connected to the engine compartment, Jason immediately entered the driver's seat. From here, the rear taillights of the car were seen to be mostly operational. The front headlights were also in similar condition. When it was confirmed that the speed limit was no issue, they could now attempt to start the engine for the first time. And the engine in the compartment immediately responded. Seeing the engine showing signs of life, John instructed Jason to turn the key again. However, while the engine could turn, it failed to start successfully. After observing, John concluded that the issue was likely with the fuel system. He immediately adjusted the fuel system, and they tried again. But the result was the same as before. The engine still did not successfully awaken. Seeing no breakthrough, John removed the spark plugs for further inspection. After reassembling, they tried again. This time, there was a noticeable sign of revival. After several attempts, the engine finally gave a brief response. This undoubtedly gave them hope. After several more attempts, the Series 1275 engine in the compartment finally started after many years. This made Elena's family excited as well. After all, this car held great significance for their family. It could be considered another form of the presence of Elena's brother in their lives, a presence akin to royalty. John was also relieved when the rare car finally started. It felt like a great weight had been lifted. After all, his friend was on the way. And this was the task his friend had entrusted him with. After waiting for several hours, his friend arrived with a tow truck, successfully taking the MG Metro Turbo with him. This meant that the MG Metro Turbo would have the chance to return to the roads it had long been absent from.